All right, everyone. Welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day. Hope everyone is doing well today. I'll be moderating this morning, and I got two of the three of my brothers here, one on the way. Raj and Will, how y'all doing this morning? And what's your mental health scale of 1 to 10 today?
I'm doing pretty good. I would say I'm at a 7 right now. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, man. Happy Father's Day to you brothers out there. So, just wanted just to say this pretty good day, been a pretty good week. So that's it.
All right. How about you, Will?
Feeling pretty good, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Um, Feeling pretty good. I say probably about a 7, 7.5. Got to hang out with my youngest the last couple of days. Um, before I got to go into work today, but we already did our thing the last 2 days, so yeah,
Okay.
feeling good.
That's good.
Okay. Well, we here. We gonna do it, and we gonna talk about some stuff today. And I hope you. I don't know if you guys got your top 10 players in order. But we'll end the show with that. So if you don't, and you have a moment to do so, go for it. But I was looking across something, and this is one of those kind of not exactly a discussion, but not exactly what it is important. So I was looking at an article that stated teams, an NFL article that stated certain deals that needed to get done for the off season or in general. And the one that sticks out in my mind is I'm gonna ask, how important is it for the Baltimore Ravens to extend Lamar Jackson at some point? You can go ahead, Raj.
I would say it's very important because number one, he's a franchise quarterback. And one thing about showing your leaders and showing your franchise players that you really do care for them is doing it with the money. And an extension is a perfect way to show that, hey, look, even though we may not have won a Super Bowl yet and we might not be where we think we should be, at least I believe in you enough to invest in you. And I think with Lamar Jackson still being relatively as young as he is, 29 years old, he still got a few prime years left. I think he at least got another 4 or 5 more years of actually running for the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Especially with how the NFL is kind of taking a turn and paying out these players. This is a perfect opportunity, perfect time to pay him. And even though he's not someone that you consider a top 5, top 10 quarterback right now, he's at least worthy of an extension. So that's just my take. I think that MVP caliber player, was he two-time MVP, right?
I believe he's got
Mm.
two MVPs. Yep.
Yeah, you got to extend him, man. Come on, stop playing around. I mean, we have never seen no one like Lamar Jackson. He literally changed the game outside of Mahomes. I think he's one of the most impactful players in the game. But he's definitely worth every single penny, and Baltimore needs to pay him.
So now I'm gonna use part of Rogers' take to give you a question. Will, he says that
Okay.
Lamar is not a top 10 quarterback right now, is what he just said. Do you agree or disagree with that sentiment, and why?
I wholly disagree with that. I don't. Maybe you can, in my opinion, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
can name 4 or 5 quarterbacks that if you told me they were better than Lamar, I may or may not agree, but I can understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? And then there's like Mahomes, Josh Allen. I would say probably are better quarterbacks than him right now. Um, and even Josh Allen, I done seen Josh Allen do some things in the playoffs that I haven't seen Lamar do in the playoffs. So that's really kind of the separator for me for them. Other than that, it's a handful of other quarterbacks that might be in that conversation around him. But I don't think that I can say. I know I can't say definitively that I can name 10 quarterbacks that are better than Lamar Jackson. Um, which is why it's imperative. Look, again, this is part of the conversation we was having. One of the conversations we was having last week. If Lamar
Mm-hmm.
Jackson were to hit the open market, how much money, you know what I'm saying, would he stand to make on the open market when everybody can negotiate? You know what I'm
Right.
saying with him. Um, so like I say, I got him. Like I say, somewhere in the top. He's still top 5-ish for me. You right now, give or take. I would really have to kind of think about it, think it through. I would say he's still top 5-ish. He's still a. It's only so many players in the NFL that can elevate an entire franchise to a certain degree. And he's
Right.
one of those. I could probably count on one hand how many players it is like that. You know what I mean? And he's still one of those guys. Our only thing with Lamar is you a different Lamar in the playoffs than you are in the regular season. You know,
Right.
that's for me, that's the only question, for him. Not quite to I know different sport, but not quite to James Harden standards, where it's two completely different careers we talking about. You know what I'm saying? The regular season
Yeah,
and the postseason career.
but very
It's not
close
quite
though.
there. You know what I'm saying? But it's not too far off of it though.
Mm-mm,
For what you
mm-mm.
expect of a quarterback of his caliber in the playoffs. I ain't saying he got to go out there and run for 300 and run for 100 and pass for 3 and 2 touchdowns every playoff game, but I still don't feel like we've really seen a real Lamar game like at his best in the playoffs. He done won a couple of playoff games, but I still don't feel like we've seen him at his best in the playoffs. But having said that, still feel like it's important for Baltimore to re-sign him. It's hard to go find guys like that, man. They are few and far between. Um, Again, you don't want to let him get to the open market because then now yesterday's price is not today's price. His price is going to go up. I think that the thing with them is that, Lamar represents himself. I think it's him and his mom that do all of his negotiating. And I
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
think oftentimes when players do that, the negotiations take longer, not because the player is less than capable, but I feel like these organizations feel like they can get over on them when they don't have an agent negotiating for them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They feel like they can take
That's an
advantage of the
excellent point.
situation or something.
Yeah.
So I think that's more than any because the last time that they renegotiated his deal, you know what I mean? Like it was, they was acting like the sky was about to start falling in Baltimore, and then finally Baltimore came to their senses and they paid that man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Lamar,
Right.
the thing is too, Lamar is in the driver's seat when it comes to this because it's I don't mean to say that this is not a lot of money, but even go back 10 years, 15, 20 years, it's when you making 30, 40 million dollars a year, it's a little easier to sit out. You know what I'm saying? And hold out. You know what I'm saying? Than it is when they was making, 2 million a year, 5 million a year. And again, not a lot of real money, a lot of money in real life. But when you're talking about, being able to maintain your lifestyle and negotiate, you know what I mean? Like it's, he's in a position where he don't have to just, take what they offer him. So
Right. 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 Well, happy Father's Day, R&B. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Chilling.
Mental health scale of 1 to 10.
Mm, Probably about a 6. Probably about a
Okay.
6 today.
Okay. Okay. Well, we I can understand why a little bit today. So my thoughts and prayers are with you on this Father's Day, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Um, the discussion right now, we kind of started with a light topic, was that how important it is to extend Lamar. And yeah, I know you just tapped in. And Will, I kind of cut you off. Were you done with your take, my brother?
Uh, only thing I do want to say is, and I've mentioned this before, I still feel
Mhm.
like Lamar needs not necessarily a top shelf receiver, not necessarily like a Justin Jefferson, but he needs a really highly regarded number 1 receiver. I think he's had some good receivers. I don't think he's had like regularly and consistently, like you know what I mean.
You don't have like a Jamar Chase or
Right, right. Yeah,
like a top shelf guy.
a top shelf. Yeah, yeah.
So to recap a little bit, R&B Raj initially had said that it is important for them to re-sign him, but he feels that Lamar's not a top 5 QB or maybe or 5 or 10, and then reiterated to Will, does he agree with that sentiment? He disagreed, but in his take that he was making, it gave me another question for you. Um,
Mhm.
so I think to Raj's point, I think Raj partially feels like that is because one, Lamar has a heavy injury history, and
Yep.
two, he's injured when it comes playoff time, which hurts his stock in Raj's eyes as a top 10 quarterback. Now, Will, in terms of play, and what you said, I agree with you. Now, I want to know, you brought up Josh Allen, who's also on that cusp. Okay. So, RB, do you think that Lamar and Josh Allen are kind of like on the same? They have that issue of getting to the big game. They've both been to the AFC Championship, but they haven't broken the mold to get to the big game. Do you think that one's better than the other? Like, maybe, I don't know how you want to number your quarterbacks now, but is it kind of like, are they on the same tier, or is Allen ahead or Lamar for you in your mind?
In my mind, they on the same tier.
Mm.
But like, it's very simple. To be honest, I think that's a very simple answer. Like both of them, they both have had their very successful NFL campaigns, which regular seasons and stuff. And then they both have struggled to get to the next level when it comes to advancing to get to the Super Bowl. I think a lot of us would agree that Josh Allen more so had looked a little better not a little, had looked a lot better in playoff play up until last year's game, where he didn't play absolutely terrible, but he did have some struggles in that game and some mistakes that kind of helped cause them to lose that game. All of the other playoff games, I would have to say reluctantly that he showed the fuck up and showed the fuck out, and his team let him down. So up until last year, I can say that for Josh Allen, but yet he still has not been to a Super Bowl. With Lamar Jackson, I hate to say, it's been a little different. He has had the MVPs and the regular season success. He has gotten, to the playoffs. He has won a playoff game or two, but it has not been impressive. The losses have not been impressive, and hell, even some of the winning has not been impressive. And then we go back to last year, last game of the season against Pittsburgh. That was basically a playoff game because it was all on
Yeah,
the line, win and get in. And Baltimore came up short. I can't put 100% of that loss on Lamar because I do feel like Lamar played well in the game against Pittsburgh in the last game of the season, but he still came up short. And I didn't say he played great. I said he played well. And that was
big
a
difference.
game where I think they needed him to play great. So if at the end of the day, if just to answer the question again, I would say that they're on the same level. If you ask me, I think they're the same tier. No one really has no one really has a step on the other one, in my opinion. I just don't think so. They
Hmm.
right there neck and neck. They right by each other in this race. Patrick
Right,
Mahomes
right.
and crossed the finish line, you know, 3 times, 4 times, and they still running, but they neck and neck. So it's really at this point, it's all about who's gonna finally get that last gas and finally take off and be able to look back at the other one and say I'm across the finish line between the two of them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think that Mahomes obviously is ahead of both of them, but in the same sense, you guys hear echo or is it just me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Move that. Okay.
What was their name? What's the name of their business in Step Brothers? Media worldwide. Why? sound like you sound like you about to premiere your boats and hoes video.
Y'all still hear echo?
No.
Nah, he popped out. I think he going out to come back in to try to get rid of that echo.
It must have been his, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it still there, Mike?
Okay. I
That's
don't hear
better.
it now.
That's
All
better.
right, cool.
I think that they are in the same boat as well. Mahomes is ahead of both of them, but in the sense now of the word, I think that I agree with all three of you guys to a degree, and it's about who gets there first. And just for some reference, Drake May made it to the Super Bowl before both of them. So
Sam Darnold made it to a Super Bowl before
and won.
And one.
and won.
Like, and Josh Allen defense though. What was that? 3 years ago? I think that was 3 years ago. It is absolutely no reason that they should have. That he did everything for them to win that AFC Championship game against Kansas City, where they took the lead with like 17 seconds left or some shit like that.
Oh, 13
Mahomes still
seconds.
got them, like that one right there. I cannot hold against Josh Allen. He did everything possible. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was the second round, wasn't it?
Was that the second round? Okay.
I think it was a second round game.
Okay.
Because I don't think Josh has been to the AFC Championship yet, has he?
He has.
I thought, they lost to Kansas City in the AFC Championship 1 year, right?
Okay.
He's been there, probably.
But the 17-second game was a second round game, though. I remember that. I remember that for sure.
Yeah, that was a divisional game.
But if they had beat Kansas City, I still feel like they win that Super Bowl.
Possibly. Yeah. Who did Kansas play in the AFC Championship that year?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Baltimore?
Shit, let's see.
I'm live right now, man. Go.
I'm about to see if I can pull it up real quick. But
why? Well, why you do? If you're gonna do that, I want to just. So I really debated if we was gonna talk about this, but damn it, you brought it up in the chat, and I have to. So I seen an AI photo this week that said it was Jalen Brunson holding a sign that said, "My ring holds more weight than KD's too." So I started thinking, and I thought about Raj when I seen that. So now the question is, whose ring holds more weight, Jalen Brunson's or Nikola Jokic's? And sidebar, I just want to say this: you can answer this portion if you want. I don't care what anyone says. Jalen Brunson's ring does hold more weight than both of KD's. But that's not the question. I just had to be petty, and as Raj calls me a psychopath, and put it in there. So because me and Raj might go at this R&B, I would like you to go first with this one.
Uh, I think I agree with you in the chat. Uh, I feel like Jalen Brunson's ring. I know you didn't specifically ask this question, but since you brought it up, I
Yeah,
do agree with you. His ring holds more weight than both of KD's. But I don't know if I agree that it holds more weight than Joker's. Surprisingly, I think that, and let me preference by saying this: I wouldn't say anybody's crazy who would disagree with me. But from my perspective of how I view it, I think that they're meant more about equal, more so than anyone's weighing more than the other. I would say it's closer to equal, and the reason why I say that is because I feel like they both won with what we would like to call not so powerhouse teams. They both took
hmm
two good teams, not a super team or not a powerhouse or some crazy form type squad. They both took two very solid good teams and won with it. And I think it's about equal. One being a small guard, one being a non-athletic, non-defensive big center. And they both took two good teams and won. They both had solid role players, solid pieces, solid defensive guys. Playing next to them. I would argue that, and it might kind of go against my own argument, but I would kind of argue that I think Jamal Murray is probably I don't know. Really don't know. I think they're about equal because he had Jamal Murray, Brunson got Carl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would say that to me, I think it's about equal. I think they both are two superstars who won with good teams, and
okay.
that's just kind of how I see it.
How you feel on that topic, Will? On same question.
I love the question, not for trolling purposes, but because I don't subscribe to the notion that all championships are created equal. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I love the
hmm
question. Um, I I would say Jalen Brunson is more impressive, and not to put KD's down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be hating on KD championships or whatever, but I don't give a fuck. Whatever team he joined, he was still the best player on that team. And in the finals, he was head and shoulders the best player on the court for those 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
I don't take nothing away from him, you know what I mean, for that. But Brunson being a little guy, you know what I mean, that was the best player on his team, leading his team to that championship, that matters to me. Um, Joker, I, again, not taking nothing away from Joker. I'll say this. Um, and again, this ain't shade at neither one of them. I think the way that the game is played today makes it easier for both of them to be the best player on a championship team. And I'm not saying, oh, back in the 90s they couldn't have, back in the 80s they couldn't have, or they wouldn't have. That's not what I'm saying. But it would have
hmm
been a lot tougher for both of them. You know what I'm saying? Brunson being a little guy, the game was just so much more physical. You know what I mean? That shit that Wembanyama did to him, that little cross body toss, you know what I mean? Wembanyama put on
Oh
him,
yeah.
that would have been nothing. You know what I'm saying? 30 years ago, 30 something years ago or whatever. Shit, we saw PJ Brown do the same shit, but to Charlie Ward, but he threw his ass into the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Joker, you go back 30 something years, every other night you guarding Shaq or Elijah Wan or David Robinson or Patrick Ewing or Alonzo Mourning or Rick Smits or, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's more about the era, you know what I mean, that they play in, that kind of allows allows them to kind of be who they are. You know what I'm saying? But again, to answer the question, I would give Brunson a slight edge. A slight edge. Like I said, when you 7'1", and you can dribble, pass, and shoot like KD can, like, it's hard for me, it's hard for people to kind of give you the edge against a 6-footer. You know what I'm saying? In regards
Fair
to this
enough.
kind of conversation. So,
Fair enough.
I
So
got I
right,
got a insert for that after everybody go because Will just made me ponder on something. But I'm gonna wait for everybody to go.
okay. Go ahead, Raj. Even though I already know
I,
your answer, go ahead.
no, actually, no. I actually listen. Hey, hear me out. I agree with both of these gentlemen. I agree with R&B's point. I think it's equal because when it comes down to it, both of the guys were kind of pretty much not favored to win the championship. And I'll say it's more closer than we think because during the 2023 run that the Nuggets went on, they lost 4 games. But during this run with the New York Knicks, they lost 3 games total. So it just goes to show you how close they are when it comes down to the history and also the dominance of what they did during their championship run. Also, I want to just insert and say that if I had to choose, I would probably say Brunson with the New York Knicks because of what it meant to the city. You know what I'm saying? 53 years, 50 plus years without a championship. Knicks pretty much been counted out every single season. And I'm not taking anything away from Jokic and what he did with the Nuggets, but nobody saw Brunson as an MVP type player that season. You know, like he might have been mentioned in the top 5, but he definitely wasn't in the top 3 in that at that time. So to see him as somebody that did it without even being mentioned as a top 3 MVP caliber player to get him to the championship, that's even more powerful. So I have to give it to the Knicks just slightly, just a little bit more. And of course, being a New Yorker, that plays a part too because I actually see what it did for the city. So that's my take.
Yeah, I would believe that it's weird because it's kind of like it's equal, but New York would have a slight edge. The Nuggets, Nikola Jokic won them their first championship in franchise history, and that's important. That's very important. And I think to Raj's point, I think him and I are a little biased. Living in New York to giving New York the edge, just because if you were here, like you see it on TV, right? I haven't been to the city after it, but just even seeing fans up here, like just like yeah, we won in like a deli, like losing their mind, like it's just something that it was like a fresh breath of air for New York. Um, I don't, we troll a lot on this show when it comes to the Joker, but respectfully, he did win them their first championship, and no one expected that. But I think for me, it is the Knicks that have a slight edge. But I also came across this that I didn't even realize. There is a real argument. There we go. That this has been one of the most winningest seasons for one player. And what I mean that is this season, Jalen Brunson made history. In the Knicks, they won the cup, the first team to win the cup and the finals the same season. So he won the NBA Cup. He won the NBA Cup MVP. He won the Shooting Stars Challenge during All-Star Weekend. Won the Eastern Conference. Won Eastern Conference MVP. Won NBA Finals and won the NBA Finals MVP. That's 7 pieces of hardware that he brought to New York this season. And whether you like the guy or you don't like the guy or whatever, he has come in and changed the culture. And there's no doubt that there's other pieces involved, Cat, the OG, the McKells, Josh Hart, but he's the heart and soul of the New York Knicks. So to formally answer the question, I do give the Knicks it by a slight edge, but the Nuggets definitely, it's there. It's right there. But as long as we all agree that Brunson's won and fuck it, and Joker's won mean more than KD's 2, we good.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
so I had,
wanted to add something on?
yeah, I had a question, something that Will had mentioned brought a ponder to my thought process here. I agree with the notion with Joker when it comes to matching up against the bigs like Shaq and all of those different types of things like that, especially in a more what we would probably consider defensive era or whatever, which we know Joker don't really play or do or whatever. But my question is this: when I think about small guards, if you took Isaiah Thomas off of the Bad Boy Pistons
Mhm.
and you put Jalen Brunson there, do you think Jalen Brunson could win back to back with the Bad Boy Pistons just like Isaiah did as a small guard? Think about
I think he can win one.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
They have
And,
very similar games.
reason being is people forget or just don't know, never knew. Joe Dumars was a point guard coming out of college, coming out of
Mm-hmm.
McNeese State. He
it.
was not a shooting guard.
Yeah.
And when Isaiah retired, Joe moved. Remember, Joe moved to the point because we had Allen
Yeah.
Houston.
Allen
You know,
Houston, yeah.
he moved to the point. He played point guard his last few years. Joe,
Yeah.
and the thing about that Bad Boys team was like Benny was really a bucket getter, but Isaiah and Joe could do either. They could either, run the offense or they could get buckets, and they, transition between the two. That's why Joe got a Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the mismatch in '89 against the Lakers. You know what I mean? And he went crazy. So I think Brunson and Joe would be, a good fit in the backcourt. I think
Yeah.
that they would, I think that they would play well together. And even though
And
Brunson is a bucket getter, it's not like he's a selfish player. He still gets you 6, 7 assists a game.
yeah. And that's how I was kind of thinking about it when that thought came into my head. But what I would say I disagree with Raj on, um, I don't think him and Isaiah Thomas's game is that similar. I was more so thinking about the size. The person on that team who I was thinking his game is similar to, believe it or not, is Vinnie Johnson.
And Benny,
If you go back and look at some of Vinnie Johnson, like the prime Vinnie Johnson before he, was a backup on the Bad Boys or whatever, him and Jalen Brunson kind of similar. That the post game, the post fade, get you about 5 feet under the basket, use that big body fade, like that. So it just kind of made me think about that when Will was saying that or whatever. I'm like, I think Jalen could hold his own if you replace him with Isaiah Thomas or something like that. Yeah, I think he could hold his own.
I agree with Raj and Will. I think he can get one, maybe not two. I know a lot of people call him Big Body Brunson, but one thing that's always hard, and I'm sure you guys agree with this, is comparing eras is different. So to put him in that era, that was a more physical era. So that's the only reason I personally don't think he can get two. Isaiah Thomas was able to move and get into places that many people couldn't do because he was short and he was skinny. Like, you know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
And he had like crazy handles too.
He has speed for sure. Isaiah has some
Oh
speed
yeah.
handles.
He's
But
probably one of the
go
I just
ahead.
want
Go
to
ahead.
I just want to say this real quick. I'm sorry. But I just want to say this. The reason why I said their game is similar is because they can find a way to get a bucket or get a pass off. Like they're one of those type of guards that it's like annoying. Like you don't know how to guard them. You know what I'm saying? Like Isaiah
When you
Thomas
think you got him, you
when
don't got him.
huh?
I say when you think you got him, you don't got him.
Exactly, and like you can switch up your game plan. I don't remember the game it was during the playoffs, or it might have been even when they got to the championship. That Isaiah got injured. I think he hurt his wrist. and he was shooting with his left hand the whole entire game. So it's like you would think a player would be like, F it. I'm not gonna shoot. I'm gonna pass the ball. This dude was shooting his left hand. I believe it was a championship when they was against the Lakers.
Nah, that was his ankle. That was his ankle. Sprained his ankle and dropped 25 in the third quarter.
All right, so it might have been a playoff game. My memory's a little bit fuzzy, but I do remember him shooting with his left. You guys remember?
That's crazy. I don't recall that one.
I don't remember that one. I have to look into it.
I gotta look it up. But he said he hurt his wrist so bad that's the reason why he had to he haven't been the same since. He hasn't been able to shoot the same way since. I gotta look it up. But anyway, my point is that's another level of you know what I'm saying? That's a whole different level right there. So that's what I'm saying.
That was probably 91 because he played the Chicago series with the bad wrist. I knew he had the wrist injury. I just didn't remember him shooting with his left hand. I ain't saying you wrong. I just didn't remember that part. But yeah, he played that Chicago series with the bad wrist.
I think it was.
My last point, Mike, on this little tidbit here though is that I personally don't think that it's as hard. I don't think it's as hard as we make it, or we try to make it seem to compare errors, certain errors anyway. I think it's just all about the visual eye test, what you're looking at, and the players. Some players, it may be hard. I don't disagree, but certain players, I think you can just look at the visual eye test, and you just can see that their game can transcend through any error. Some people just got it like that, and I think Jalen Brunson is one of those small guards. I think he transcends where he can play in any era because it's not just about body and skill, it's about the mentality too. And we see the type of mentality that he has and how his father raised him. And I know they only credit him for only being like 6 feet, 6'1", but he is a bigger 6 feet, 6'1" guard. He's not a skinny, guard. I know Wemby shoved him down, but let's not forget Wemby's 7'4". So with him being that long and wiry, he's a lot stronger than what he looks like. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any one of us as grown men would just bitch or push Wemby around in a fight or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm pretty sure dude, got some strength to him. But my point is Brunson is a bigger guard for his size. Like, he's wide body and he know how to use that shit.
Exactly. Yeah, real quick before you continue, Will, you was right. It was 1989 when they went up against the Bulls. These are conference finals. He hurt his wrist and he was shooting with his left hand.
Okay.
That was one of the championship years.
Yep.
That was the first championship.
Yep.
Saying 1989.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the first championship. We won 89-90. And Jordan won 90.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the one. That's the one. He said he hurt his wrist real bad. Shooting with his left.
So while we're still on Brunson, before I segue to Trae Young, I seen, obviously this week there was heavy Knicks coverage, especially like Monday and Tuesday. And one thing that surfaced that I seen on, I think it was First Take, given all the hardware that Brunson won this year, is it fair to? It's fair to ask the question. I won't say it's fair to say, but it is fair to ask, in your opinion. Is there a possibility where you think that Jalen Brunson could be considered the face of the NBA?
Who you going to with this one first?
Let's start with Will.
He at the very least, he's about to be one of them. He just won the New York Knicks, which I don't have to remind y'all, he won them their first championship in modern NBA history because the first two came before the merger. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, he has to be. You know what I'm saying? Because the Knicks are the Knicks. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, this at this point, it might be a bigger deal than winning a championship with the Lakers or the Celtics because they do that shit all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean? But for
Who
some
was the
reason, the
merger?
Knicks are always in that. What'd you say?
The merger was 75 or 77, wasn't it?
Something like that, 76, 77, somewhere
I
around
think it was
there.
1976.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, people talk about the Knicks as an organization like they are the Lakers or they are the Celtics or they are the Spurs. Like they not even the Pistons as an organization. They just tied us. So you know what I'm saying? In regards to championships. So this is a very, very, very big deal for the Knicks, for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Um, like it's and Brunson has to be one of the faces of the NBA now. Like there's no two ways about it. There's no way around it. And it's an easy story to sell. Like his dad was a role player for the Knicks, and you know what I mean, was in the league, and you know
Right.
what I mean. Like it's this. If somebody told you this was a true story, and if you try to pitch this script to Hollywood, they'd be like, "Man, get the fuck out of here." That's you know what I'm saying. That's Disney shit. You know what I'm saying. So, and he beat who is widely considered to be, you know what I mean, if not now, next up for the face of the NBA. He's an American-born player because that's been part of the thing too. You know what I mean? We ain't had an American MVP in however long, how many ever years it
Right.
is now, 5 or 6 years, some shit like that. I think it is. Arguably the top how many ever NBA players are all international players. You know what I mean? So it's bigger than basketball. You know what I'm saying with this? It's everything that comes along with the basketball, the business of basketball. You know what I mean? The narrative, all of that. Like it checks all the boxes at the highest level for all of these things. So he has to be at the very least one of the faces of the league right now.
So one thing, and you guys are gonna get the same question, but just based on that, I just want to just ask them, like, add a little more to that. When you look at like the face of the league, do you guys also feel that the face of the league should or faces of the league should have more face time? Like, and what I mean when I say that is, for example, commercials, multiple endorsements. I mean, you look at, like for example, Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers had a lot of State Farm commercials, and you see Patrick Mahomes doing hair commercials now and things like that. LeBron is, till he retires. To me, he's the guy, right? But even though he doesn't have all the commercials like that, he's got so many endorsements. Does that tie into being the face of the league in you guys' opinion as well? You can go ahead, R&B.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry, Will. I'm sorry, Will. Answer that, and then we'll go to R&B.
I like in a vacuum, no. In real life, yes. And I'll give you an example. Prime example: Rogers boy, Joker. In theory, he should be one of the faces of the league, right? He don't want to do commercials. He don't want, you know what I mean? He just want to hoop. And sometimes it seems like he barely want to do that. He just really, 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 really good at that shit. You know what I'm saying? He be wanting to be with his horses and shit.
Horses.
He don't want to hoop. He don't want to hoop for real.
Look, when they won the championship, he say, "Wait a minute, the parade is when." So I gotta stay till Thursday. So I'm just like, whatever what he said. Like, he didn't even want to go to the fucking parade, bro. You know what I mean? And he's like a prime example of one of the people. I had this conversation with Ryan a lot, where it'd be like everybody don't have to love basketball or love football or love baseball. And I'll be willing to bet that it's a lot of players that don't love it. I know most of them don't love it the way I love it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's okay. You know what I mean? I don't need you to love it. Because there's a lot of people who love that shit and they're fucking scrub. You know what I mean? So, like, what do the love really get you at the end of the day? Unless we talking about certain kind of players or whatever. But he's a guy who he don't love it. And he don't even love the shit that really come along with it. He just doing it to afford him the opportunity to do all the other shit he really want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, which is why he's not a face of the league, because he don't really have no desire to be. We all know he in that conversation, like, you know what I mean, in a vacuum. But in real life, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He don't really want to fuck around with that. So to get the best possible outcome out of a face of a league, and there's different ways to do it, because Steph is one of the faces of the league, but he is not quite as visible as Bron. It don't mean that he don't
Right.
do endorsements, he don't have enough stuff, but Brian, not like Brown was doing everything, because he was choosy, you know what I mean, and rightfully so with, you know what I mean, his brand. But we saw him on, you know, a handful of big brands. You know what I'm saying? It's different ways to do it, you know, but part of it, if you're gonna lean into it, is being visible. You know what I'm saying? And selling the league in a certain kind of way. And that's the thing about those endorsements when people talk, you know, talk shit about them getting endorsement money and this, that, and the other. But yeah, even when they doing that, it's still selling the league. The NBA is getting advertisement through these other, you know what I mean, areas and arenas and, you know, endeavors that these players, you know what I mean, are leaning into. So if you gonna lean into it and do it like the right way, you know what I mean? Yeah, like that kind of stuff does matter. You know, we ain't never gonna see Joker on fucking Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I'm saying? that would be
Bro,
the worst late night interview in history, bro.
we
You'll be
might not
lucky to
even
see him on
see.
a commercial.
We might not ever even see Joker on the cover of 2K, bro. Like,
That's what I'm saying. You'd be lucky to see him. You'd be lucky to see him on a commercial. He don't want to do it. He really don't. He really don't.
Hey, Joker, how old is Joker right now?
31.
Man, Joker might play another couple years and be done, bro.
He
Like,
might be done
he
after this year. To
look,
be honest,
like for real, what does contract look like? Because I don't see Joker be, you know what I mean? I don't see him
I
playing.
think he got two. I think he got 2 more years. I don't see
Man,
him. I don't see him playing long. I don't see him playing long.
yeah, I think he gonna retire young, man. I think he gonna retire early.
go ahead,
I
R&B.
Well, he signed. Oh, wait, real quick. I want to say he signed a 5-year extension, so he got another 5 years.
Mm,
Allegedly, he might just do 2 and get out of there.
yeah.
um so I'm gonna start off by saying I disagree with that statement. I think Joker will play a little longer than what we anticipate, and I just don't think he's gonna play in Denver for that much longer. I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna see a combination of two of the greatest European players put together, and him and Luka Doncic. I think Joker will be a Laker at some point. That's the rumor that's being speculated, and we all know how shit go with the Lakers. When you hear them in speculation, when it come to great players, it ain't been too many times that they done swung and ain't hit a home run.
Mm,
So I'm just saying, look out for that. If you put him and Luca together, you know what I'm saying, and it does the right thing, that might motivate him to keep it going a little longer if he can win.
that's a
But
good point.
just bringing that up from on comment of him. But where I'm gonna go with this, fellas, I feel like I look at this shit just like you look at a team. I think you got the man, and then you got role players. We all know when it comes to the face, I agree with Mike's statement. Until LeBron retires, he's the face of the league, whether people want to see it that way or not. The reason why is because, yeah, you might not see him in as many commercials and stuff like that, but you see him in a lot of endorsements on podcasts, all of this
Mhm.
YouTube stuff, his Hollywood endeavors, and he's still the most talked. Like he, you know what I'm saying? Like you watch a lot of these podcasts and different sports shows and stuff like that. We got other teams winning championships, New York doing what they doing, and yeah, they cover it. But somehow, some way, LeBron is like the Dallas Cowboys. They gonna fit a story in there about him at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gonna fit in there. So to me, that makes him definitively the guy still. He's still the face of this league. But that doesn't mean that you don't have exemplary role players to help fill out the rest of this roster, which would be your other faces. See, it's the face and then it's other faces. And I think Jalen Brunson has played his way into the other faces conversation. But the face, no, it's only one of those. We don't know who will be the one to take that mantle whenever LeBron does retire. It's a lot of speculation. We all know those players, your Shays, your Ants, you know what I'm saying, your Wimbies. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody would maybe, I hate to say it like this, I don't think Jalen Brunson would be in that conversation. I think in order for him to be in that conversation, he will have to do what he just did this year 2 to 3 more times in the next 5 years. If he did that, and within that run, like say if the Knicks repeat and win next year, I think you would be talking about like, damn, is Jalen Brunson the face of the league right now? You know what I'm saying? If he repeat and they were on the trajectory, but for right now, what he's done and where we look at him at, I think he's just one of the faces. He could be a starter on that team though. He might be your starting point guard, but he's just one of the faces, and that's where I'm at on that one. Now I do want to kind of touch on this Joker thing a little bit more though. I think that Joker does love the game. I think that he's just not appealing as a superstar because of his whole mental makeup and how he carries himself and how he goes about his day to day, everything just like how he is. I don't think he's a very marketable superstar. You know what I'm saying? Even if he did show the passion or whatever it may be that maybe people may look for in order to say that a person love the game or whatever, if it showed and exuberated itself, you know what I'm saying, I still would think it would be the same thing. He's not marketable. He's just not a marketable superstar. He's quite boring. He's not like Wemby. He's not like some of these other players and stuff like that. Like he's different. That's where I'm at on that one with Joker and shit. But
Let me clarify. I do think he loves like hooping. I don't think he loves the business of basketball, which is why I'm saying I don't think he's concerned about his place in history, and you know what I mean, being compared to these kind of people and getting numbers so he could like. I don't do if he retired
just,
today. Do I think
I
he would
just
still be like hooping in his little barn next to his horses and shit? Yeah, like he'd have a pickup game going and shit. Probably. I don't think he loves the business of basketball. I don't think he loves the NBA. You know what I'm
I
saying?
probably I could probably agree with you on that, but so I say 50-50. I could agree with you, but where I would disagree is because and you know me, bro. I watch a lot of these podcasts and stuff like that where they different interviews, and so I done seen some of the interviews with like Jamal Murray and other teammates and stuff like that from that championship team, and the way they talk about Joker. You know what I'm saying? The way they talk about some of his locker room outbursts, and you know what I'm saying, like he care about his numbers, he care about his place, and you know what I'm saying, he from some of some like watching the podcast like where they had Bruce Brown on one episode, like he cares about the comparisons and how they gonna look at him against people like Shaq and shit like that. That
Mm.
means something to him. It means something to him. I think we sleeping on that. He
Okay.
just not marketable. He's boring.
I think,
It's like
and I want,
him boring.
and I
But
just want to
go on.
say one. I just want to say one thing, and then let Raj get in here. To me, Joker, to all the points y'all were just making, is this day and age is Tim Duncan, just not marketable,
Yep.
boring. Can play his ass off. I don't care what anyone says.
Hold on. I'm about to Stephen A. you right here. I'm about to do your guy on you, Mike. All I want to do was say I agree with you, R&B. That's all you had to say. You stole my 3 seconds up. I had to say you for that.
Oh man, go ahead, Raj.
Yeah, no, I agree on both of their takes, and I agree on your take, Mike. I think that but I also think that Jalen Brunson. How can I explain it? He's definitely the face of New York. I'll give you that because there's a
Mm.
huge ad that I think one of those like drink companies put out that have a huge sign out there next to MSG. When I was just out there on Friday, and it says the King of New York. He's definitely the King of New York. There's no doubt
Mm.
about it. I think he's probably the most beloved New York athlete that's out right now, and probably in history. If you compare all the players that have ever played in New York, and I'm not saying that they don't have greatness, but I'm talking about as far as like the expectation, the love, the support. Everyone around says this dude is that dude. Like even Patrick Ewing is saying it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I think he's a face of New York. I think he's a face of that market, that big ass market. However,
That's what
you
makes
got to
him
look
your
at
starting point guard on the faces.
right. And I agree. That's what I'm saying. That's why I agree with that because when it comes down to the face of the league, it's LeBron and then it's Steph Curry. And then a tight number three, I would say Ant-Man. But Ant-Man low-key don't want to be the face of the league. I don't know why. But he's everything that I think a superstar is. He's got charisma. He got swag. The hood loves him. He know how to turn it on, turn it off when he has to, and he can play his ass off on the court. But he just don't want to be the quote unquote face of the league. I think he's one of the best young stars in the league, if you ask me. And when we talk about international appeal, I think he's got probably more international appeal than Jalen Brunson because he's got the sneaker. His sneaker is fire. Like I said, he got his own swag. Like he's like AI, pretty much. He's
Hey,
what I thought Ja Morant should have been if he didn't carry
yeah,
the guns around.
yeah.
And I'm saying that because like when I think of the South, when I think of ATL, when I think of Atlanta, I think of somebody like Ant-Man. He's a perfect example. So to answer your question, I know I went all around the block, but I'm trying to give you guys understanding how I'm thinking about this. Marketing wise, commercial wise, game wise, I want to say it's still LeBron until he retires. It's Steph Curry until he retires. And number three, it's gotta be Ant-Man. I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to him. And another thing, and the reason,
Oh, go ahead.
and I want to say this last thing. It might be a number four for Jalen Brunson because of the championship and also leadership and how much he's loved. But let's be real, he don't have that much charisma. He's not as charismatic as these guys.
I
So that's
think he
all.
What?
charismatic in his own way.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think he's boring like Joker. He's charismatic in
No,
his
no,
own
no.
way. Brunson
Yeah,
got that. He got that mean nigga charismatic to him. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
fuck you. Let's get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like let's battle. He got that bad boy swag to him. To be honest with
yeah,
you.
yeah. And that's another reason why I compared him to, to Isaiah Thomas. I'm telling you, there's a lot of similarities. 6'1", can play their ass off. You know what I'm saying? But that's another reason why I compared him because of that same type of mentality. It's like
Hey,
a pit bull.
I just wanted to respond real quick, Mike, to one thing Raj said because he stole
Hey,
the thought right out of my mind. You dead on with the Anthony Edwards comparison to Allen Iverson, like a
Mhm.
modern day Allen Iverson. Like that's definitely who he is. But I hope that he don't, go down not winning the championship like AI did.
I
But
know,
what I
I
would
know.
also say to that though is I don't think that it was ever a time that Allen Iverson was the face of the league. I think he was one of the faces.
Uh,
I think he was one of the faces.
I,
I
I don't
I
want
think
to
he
agree
disagree.
was.
with you.
I I
I
I,
want
I,
to.
dis-
I want to
I
agree, but I
disagree.
can't. R&B, I
No, no,
can't.
no, I disagree, and I'll tell you why. I would not say he was. Him and Kobe defined a generation.
Yeah,
So I would say him and Kobe was like right there, neck and neck.
The
The NBA
2000.
didn't. The NBA did not want to market Allen Iverson. They were forced to market Allen Iverson because,
The hood love.
and to your and I think this might be a reason with Ant when you were saying Raj like it don't seem like he want to be. Ant gonna do Ant. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
either they gon' you know what I mean, let him be him, or he probably just not gonna fuck with it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on,
AI,
but
that
Ant
AI, the NBA was
Christian's
forced.
not
The
supposed to be
NBA
the
was
face.
forced. The NBA was forced to have to start marketing AI a certain kind of way. They created the fucking dress code because of AI,
Yep.
because it was so
Exactly.
many eyes on him. It was like he wasn't the first nigga showing up to a fucking basketball game in jeans and sweats and shit. You know what I'm saying? But once it was so many eyes on him in a natural, you know what I mean, genuine, authentic way, at some point they had to start, you know what I mean? So AI and Kobe defined a generation of basketball. So I like I said, I ain't gonna say he was ever like the guy, but him and Kobe, you know what I'm saying? They defined that era.
And I
And
want.
you made y'all both just made my point though, because like that's what I preferenced it by saying. I said I don't think he was ever the guy. He was one of them. He was one
Oh,
of
Okay.
them.
cool,
I see what
No
you're
cool,
doubt.
saying.
cool. That
But
means
I don't.
Kobe was never the guy either. Like you know, he was one of them. Because after
But
AI faded off, he had to share it with Bron. It was him and Bron.
yeah, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And I'll add this in.
But
I'll
they
add
all
this
I'm
in.
saying is they was both 1A's that existed at the same time. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They would have
I
been
think
the guy independent of each other. They just
I
happen to exist at the same time.
But
I
we all
totally
know
agree.
we all
I
know
agree
that
with that.
winning has to go into this factor as well. And I think that if you look at AI's career, we know he came in '96, so those first couple years or so, you know what I'm saying, nobody was bigger than Jordan when he came in. And then let's not forget Jordan's comeback in 2000. Like it's like Jordan was damn near still the guy in the early 2000s. Well, at least in 2000, and he wasn't even playing no more like that and shit. And he was
He
still
was doing.
like the most talked about and all that shit. And then you fast forward, I could probably give you 2001, 2000, probably just
Yeah.
2001. The year that he got to the finals, I would say that Allen Iverson was probably
Mhm.
undoubtedly
Mhm.
the guy in the NBA. But outside of that, it was Shaq. Shaq was the man going forward until
Shaq,
it passed over to
Shaq,
LeBron and
Shaq,
Kobe.
Shaq was getting swept in the first round by Utah. You know what I'm saying? So
I just,
Shaq was getting
I
swept in
just
the first
said,
round by Utah.
I said,
Wait, let me finish. Look,
listen, I
look,
said,
AI,
hold
look,
on,
AI.
2001. I did not say 97 and 98.
Oh,
We got
but okay. But I'm speaking on what I heard what you said. I'm saying what I'm saying. Yeah, AI got drafted in '96. He crossed Jordan over in '96, and once that
He
happened,
sure did.
like
It was
there was a
over.
transition taking place. I'm not saying Mike wasn't still the guy until he retired at the end of '98, but come that '99 season, oh nigga, like yeah, Shaq
Yep.
was up there. It was
That's what I'm
AI
saying.
because Shaq hadn't done shit yet. Shaq hadn't done shit yet, but losing the finals in Orlando. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say 3 years,
I can't
3 years, AI had it on lock. 99, 2000, 2001. And I'm saying that because not only did he have the cover of 2K, right? He was the first 2K cover. He
mm-hmm.
was selling Reebok sneakers, dog.
Right,
Like
bro.
the only person to move Reeboks was Shaq
Shaq.
and the Rain Man, and that was it. They
Yep.
were the only two. No one
No,
went to go buy Reeboks. He was a
he
face of the league for
look.
those 3 years.
He had more than that because again, let's not forget that Kobe around 2000 2001 is starting to become Kobe.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
exactly.
2002.
Yep.
Like so when AI, you know what I mean, crossed over Ty Lue, hit the fadeaway on the baseline and stepped up. Like AI
Oh
was
man,
the guy. Like you know what I'm saying? Even though they
I
lost
said
that
them
series,
was.
he get more credit for losing. And I don't think that you shouldn't get any credit for losing in the finals, but he gets more credit for losing 4-1 in the finals than
Yep.
anybody I can think of. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because
Exactly.
he was that guy. He had a run of being the guy. And then Kobe, niggas, look, not me and you, but at large, a lot of people were still looking at Kobe as a sidekick until he won.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
We
it
didn't.
was
We didn't.
it's not like the first 10 years of Kobe career, like he was looked at like that. Like, nah, it
Yeah.
was for a segment of us, especially people, more around our age, you know what I mean, that was younger coming up and kind of grew up with Kobe. You know what I mean? We looked at him that way, but he wasn't looked at like that. AI had a run as that, even if it was unofficially and off the books, because the NBA wasn't really pushing him like that. Anybody watching the NBA for them handful of years knew that AI was like the guy. He mattered more than anybody else in the NBA at that time. He influenced culture and
Yep.
everything on the
He
court
carried.
and off the court.
He carried.
Cornrows,
Yeah.
tattoos, you know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Being your authentic self, you know what I'm saying? Like AI had a run as like the guy. It just was never like on the books. They couldn't deny him. They
Allen
couldn't fucking
Iverson,
deny him.
Allen Iverson was the Ja Rule of the NBA. That's his run. And I love AI. I'm y'all, but he right there. He right there. I love AI. He on my
Okay.
wall.
That's.
He was
Hold on. Hold
I
on.
gotta hear
Army.
this.
Army.
I
Wait.
gotta
Wait.
hear this.
Wait. Wait. You know what?
fan, though, so
And
That's
I'm not
actually probably the
I'm not
greatest.
anti-Ja Rule, but I gotta hear this.
That's actually an excellent take.
that's his run. He was the Ja Rule of the NBA. That's
Yeah.
his run.
Until 50 Cent
how,
came.
how so?
50 Cent was LeBron. It was too much. It like I say, I'll give you all that, maybe that small 2-3 year run. I'll give you that 99. But let's not forget about Vince Carter and Vinsanity. You
When
know
he
what I'm
wasn't
saying?
the face of
We
the
all know what
league.
Shaq was doing.
And that only lasted as long as he was in Toronto, and he was in Toronto for 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Like niggas was upset with Vince by the time by that last year and a half in Toronto. Like his
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they
So
felt like he was building on the
He had a
franchise,
he had a
which
he had a good
right,
2 year run.
really
He
was.
had a good
yeah.
2 year run in Toronto.
So Vince had a moment. You know what I'm saying? Vince had some moments. Like,
Yeah, he had a moment. And that's how I look at AI. I felt like AI had
nah,
I felt
Hey,
like he had a moment.
I'll say this, and I actually like your analogy though, R&B, because Ja Rule. I was looking back at his catalog. It's funny you said that because I'm looking back at his catalog last week, and I said, "Yo, for about 5 summers, he had us on lock. He had 5 bangers for like 5 summers. He was competing up. He was in competition with Jay-Z, but he had more hits. He had like the #1 hits. You know what I'm saying? So I look at AI the pretty much the same way. Like they didn't want him to be the #1 guy, but the hood loved him. I mean,
nah.
think about it.
Some people
I'm
forget on some of them old tour documentaries that Jay-Z talked about where he had switched from closing the show to allowing Ja Rule to close the show because and at some points allowing DMX to close the
Yep.
show because their performances was so much hotter and they were on fire more than he was. That came out of Jay-Z.
Exactly.
DMX is my AI comp. DMX, no matter, I don't give a fuck who you talk about for about a 3-year run. You know what I'm saying? And 4 albums. Nobody, and whether you liked them or not, however you felt about them, nobody was fucking with X. And that, you know
Hey
what I
man,
mean? In that
what
space
we
and place
talking
and
about
time.
here? What the fuck is we talking about here?
That's my AI comp. That's my AI comp. You know what I'm saying?
Both
It
of
would
those
be
are good.
DMX.
DMX.
Not
DMX
any.
is that dude.
Yeah, that would be my AI comp.
Wow.
I fuck with AI, but like I say, then you had LeBron and Carmelo and them come in the 03
Right.
And LeBron took off like he did. Melo took
But
off
it
like
took
he
him a
did.
minute.
Because let's not
No, look,
forget, he
It
really
took him.
should
It
have
took him
won
about
Rookie of the
it took
Year.
him about 2.5 seasons.
also, so 05, 06, even though he was losing in the first round, but he was going so crazy, that's when kind of even the Kobe haters was kind of like, oh, this nigga is really cold like that. A lot of people would not give him his credit because they say you was a sidekick, you was Robin, you had Shaq, da 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 da, this, that, and the other. That so you right. That's why I say AI. I would say 99 because it wasn't 98, 99 because that was a lockout year. So 99 to like 03, 04, you
Yeah,
can you could. It's a strong case that AI again. It was unofficial because the NBA didn't want him to be, but you can make a strong case that AI was the face of the league. All due respect to Shaq.
everything. Yeah,
All due respect to Tim Duncan, who didn't want nothing to do with none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to hoop. There's a strong case to be made, and again, you know what I mean. With respect due to Vince, with respect due to T Mac, you know what I'm saying. With respect due to Grant Hill, because he, you know what I'm saying, he was headed on that trajectory. You know what I mean, being one of them guys as the face of a league, and KG, and like it's a lot of people that I can mention. You know what I'm saying. Don't get me
Man,
wrong, but AI and all of them niggas look up to AI. Like you know what I'm saying. All of them niggas look up to AI.
It's
and
funny.
that's what keep it in that 3 year stretch for me because I feel like once it become a question, it's no answer. We all
It's
know with LeBron right now. We know with LeBron, and we knew with LeBron for the time that he been it. I think with AI, it was a small stretch where you knew, and then it became a question because it was other competition and other faces that was coming along and knocking him out the way because he wasn't winning. And I'm not going to discredit Will's argument. The NBA never did him any favors because him and David Stern didn't get along. They didn't like AI. Like I don't disagree with that sentiment at all, but it was a lot of competition that came early in that run that came and started winning and he wasn't winning. It was like after that 0-1 finals, it was like we all know what went down in Philly and shit. Him and Larry Brown, and he didn't really for a second there. AI didn't become AI again until he got to Denver and became a sidekick to Melo.
yep.
Not a sidekick. That might have been a disrespectful thing to say. A 1B to Melo.
well,
I think those are his best years. I've told Will that. I feel like Allen Iverson's best, most efficient, high-level years were playing in Denver next to Carmelo.
I
and
agree.
that Denver team should have won a chip because they were deep. They had a lot of players.
They almost knocked the Lakers off. No. That was with Chauncey.
No, that was with
That was
Chauncey.
with
Yeah, in the
Chauncey.
Western
That
Conference
was with
Finals, that was with
Chauncey.
Chauncey.
But
Yeah.
the
I
other
don't
thing,
think they went to the finals with AI.
it's funny because yesterday I was at a barbecue and we started talking, and this really for the first time I really felt like older than the people I was talking to because they were spewing shit that didn't make sense. So let me just give you the background of how it started, how it got to basketball. First they started saying some disrespectful ass shit. Two of the dudes. Now, mind you, I'm 38. One is 33, one was 34, and one was 32. And they said some disrespectful ass shit because they ain't understand. They said that Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson, and I lost it. Mind you, mind you, I love Chris Brown. He's one of my favorites, but I had to go in, and they didn't like that. I was like, "Don't you ever come near me with that disrespect again, or I'll find your mother and kill her." Like, 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 y'all need to relax. Y'all, damn. I'm like, yeah, but I take it seriously.
I ain't had to do this in a while, but the views expressed on this podcast do not directly reflect the opinions of everyone involved.
So then we got into the debate, and this one was crazy. So we go into the debate. Somehow Chris Brown got compared to Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jackson got compared to Michael Jordan. And then someone said that. Then he goes, "Oh, Well, Kobe implemented Mike and was better than him and did it better than him. And I was like, I need logic behind this. How can you do something better than the guy that created it? And then they're like, yeah, Kobe was 100 times better than Mike. I said 100.
It's very easy. I agree with some of that sentiment. Me and Will has had these discussions. He's heard my take on some of those sentiments as well. I think that's how things progress and keep transcending and keep growing and keep getting better, because it's always going to be a generation of talent that looks at the prior generation of talent, and they're going to steal from that along with what they have and put it together and make something new and sometimes better. Not saying that it's always better, but sometimes it's better. So he wasn't better than Michael Jordan in every single thing that he did, but there are things that he took from Mike and others and made better. Dude was working out with Dirk Nowitzki, learning how to do the Dirk fade, and won 2 championships on that shit from the post. So and people get mad when I say his post game was better than Michael Jordan's, and they be like, Michael Jordan fade, and that's all you can say. I can go to multiple things Kobe did from the back down.
And Michael didn't create anything. He wasn't the first to do anything. There was somebody called Dr. J that was going crazy on niggas before Mike. If you talk about athleticism and aerial assaults and all of that, and not just Dr. J, because Michael Jordan will tell you, and I've heard this from his mouth, his favorite player to watch was David Thompson. You know what I'm saying? So Mike didn't create, he took what he saw and did it better. You know what I'm saying? Than those who came before him.
I agree with that.
I would say he did it with more eyes, right? Because
I agree with that too.
Let's just hold on before I get into that, because we were talking about Allen Iverson, and the point I was getting to was then I had asked them. I said, if you had to name your 3 greatest players ever, who would they be? He said Mike, he said Kobe, and then he said Allen Iverson. And then I said, Allen Iverson. I said, why? And then he was just like, yo, he changed the game. And then, the way he dressed, the way that, the tattoos. I said, see, you're not looking at it for what he did on the court. If you talking about numbers, AI don't belong in that conversation. If you talking about the culture of basketball, Allen Iverson belongs in that conversation. Because when I look at you, then that's how I see it. When you looking at the culture, I can respect that answer. But for what he did on the floor, I said you're wrong. There's no world where that makes any sense. Now, if that's your personal opinion, I can't change that. But in terms of basketball, I said that's not the right answer. If I'm looking at that, I have a list of players that, in my opinion, they changed the game in a way. These 4 players are based off of things I've seen. I can't speak to before that. Well, it's really 5 because they've changed in different ways. I looked at Mike. No one had seen anything like Mike. There were other players, but I watch documentaries and stuff. They'd be like, yeah, we stop Michael from getting 30, he gets 40. Stop him getting 40, he gets 50, kind of thing. He was just a different player, right? The next would be, for me, LeBron. I've watched his whole career, and I never seen nothing like him, and just his evolution. I look at Shaq. They changed the rules for Shaq. Literally, they changed the rules. Allen Iverson's in there. They changed the rules and the culture of the game. And the last one is Steph Curry. I mean, no one was shooting threes like how threes are shot until he started doing it. But to go back real quick to your point, R&B and Will, about, I think he had more eyes. We for example, people discredit Will Chamberlain because we didn't see him score 100 points. We didn't see it. People debate if that actually happened. So I think that in hindsight, my personal opinion is we speak on things because we're biased to what we saw. If that makes sense. We're biased to what we saw. I could watch all the highlights in the world of Muhammad Ali, but I didn't have to be there to recognize that he's one of the greatest boxers of all time. You know, I've seen Mike Tyson, you know, you know, but I can acknowledge. So it just depends how I guess people look at it. Like you say, R&B, you have to use your own eyes and make your own opinion sometimes.
But it's generational for one.
Yeah.
Again, I think we all as sports fans, whoever you saw when you were falling in love with said sport, whatever sport it is, those are going to be the people that you tend to, you know what I mean, lean into and appreciate more.
Oh,
But think
and
about
that's
it.
with anything, music,
Right.
movies, whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And the point you made about Jordan being like Jordan, I think Jordan is the GOAT as much for what he did on the court as also for all the off the court stuff. So again, when you
Right.
say like the AI stuff like don't matter, it does. A big part of the reason that Jordan is the GOAT is because he came up in the Sports Center top 10 era. When ESPN was taking off, the NBA was taking off. And Jordan's game was tailor-made for top 10 highlights, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? If he played that night, he was going to be on Sports Center that night when cable TV is taking off. And it's again, more eyes are are on the game
That's
now.
why I
There's more
said that.
availability. Think about if you're somebody that's 60 something, 70 something, 80 something years old and you was an NBA fan in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. You don't even get to see them play unless you at the game. Because it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not on so when you hear about Wilt Chamberlain averaging 50 and 25, it's like
Right.
a fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? It's a legend that you're, you know what I mean, passing down, you know what I mean, from generation to generation. Because how many people actually got to see Bill Russell and John Havlicek and Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit and George Mikan and like whoever. And again, even in the 70s, Dr. J was legendary in part because everybody didn't get to see him play all the time. It was like almost mythological. You know what I mean? To a certain
It was
degree.
kayfabe, bro.
You say he what?
It was kayfabe.
It was
Which is what nowadays they just broke the law. Too much is available now.
I remember probably being about 8-9 years old. One of my uncles had just came home from the joint, right? And so this is really like me kind of getting to know him. Me and him walking down the block, talking. He asking me questions. I'm asking him questions. I told him, I love basketball. He said, "Who you think the best player is?" And at the time, I'm like Michael Jordan, like you know what I'm saying? He said, "Nah, Dr. J is better than Michael Jordan." And I looked at him like he was fucking crazy, right? But as I got older, I understood why he said what he said. Like, you know what I mean? I get why Dr. J is his GOAT. Like, you know what I mean? And again, Dr. J, it wasn't just on the court stuff. It was off the court stuff with him too. Like these guys that we talk about, even LeBron, like as they hated it and they still kind of don't like it, but at some point he's going to get credit for the quote unquote player empowerment movement. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like those things do matter. The off the court stuff do matter. You can't be better off the court than on the court. You know what I'm saying? But those things matter. So I think AI do get credit. Like again, there's a reason why this young man is telling you. You know what I mean? Yeah, AI is one of them guys for me. Like, you know what I mean? It was the on the court stuff too. And he did have a hell of an effect on the on the court product. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't really nobody out there just cooking like that before AI. Even Jordan had to play within the offense to a certain degree. You know what I mean? But like just giving a nigga the rock and letting them cook, like that kind of started with AI. It wasn't a whole lot of that happening before that.
I really wish we could. I wish sports were like music, right? Like you could go like what I mean is like, okay, when the first album I ever bought, and I think I've said this before, is Mace Harlem World, right? That was the first hip hop album I bought. My mother hated it because she didn't want me listening to that stuff. Absolutely. And and then I started listening to like Biggie. And Nas is my favorite like all time, but I didn't discover Nas till middle school. So like I had a really basic basis on hip hop. Now it's a beautiful thing to be able to go back and listen to older music. I wish we could do that with sports and go back and watch more just in highlights. You know, if you tell me Dr. J had a 62-point game against the Lakers and it went to 2 overtimes, I'd like to watch that as a sports fan. You know,
They
and
got
I,
YouTube?
yeah, but
You can find a lot of stuff nowadays on YouTube, believe it or not, even some Bill Russell shit and Wilt shit. You ain't gonna
okay.
find the 100 game, but people did have cameras back then to record certain things and certain highlights and certain games that you can find. And again, I say this a lot. I encourage y'all get more into watching these different podcasts and documentaries because they be having a lot of these highlights on a lot of these different documentaries and stuff that air and shit like watching the logo, you know what I'm saying, Jerry
Right.
Rush documentary when it dropped about a month back. That shit was good as hell. I was telling bro about it. It was good as hell. It was a great documentary and it had a lot of different highlights and you know just a lot of different things to take note on to watch. But real quick, the last thing I'm gonna say on this though, Chris Brown is not Michael Jackson like Usher is, and y'all people gonna stop disrespecting Uncle Usher. And this is why I say this. Unfortunately for Chris Brown, the whole Rihanna situation happened. We all know.
So to hang over his head forever.
Yeah, I felt like that kind of took away from his momentum. And this is the analogy I made with my boy because we was having the same argument last week. I said it didn't T.I. him because the gun shit with T.I., it fucked him up so bad that he came with a great album after it. And we still, not me because he's my second favorite rapper of all time, but we as a culture still kind of went in another direction. Chris Brown was able to bounce back from the Rihanna shit, but it was just never the same anymore. His whole image changed, the drug uses, the tattoos, and you know what I'm saying, which, you know, it's his life. He live it how he want to live it. I'm not judging him, but it just kind of, you know, took away from everything. And I felt like the change that he made, he never gave us a Confessions. And that's why Usher still ranks to me. No respect to Chris Brown, but Usher still ranks to me as Michael Jackson like number 2 behind Mike. You know, for that whole, he got the body of work. He got the Diamond album, Confessions.
Yep.
I could throw I don't even think Chris Brown has an 8701 if you really want to tell the truth about it.
That's my
You
favorite
might be able
Usher
to have
album,
one of
8701.
Yeah, me too.
you might be able to grab one of his and put it maybe right there with 8701 maybe, but and don't get me wrong, I love a lot of Chris work. He got great songs and he still put out good music, but he don't have a Thriller and he does not have a Confessions, and that's how I see it. And for that reason,
no artist has a Thriller though.
but this is what I'm saying though. We all know Thriller is diamond. It might be the highest diamond of all time, but I actually think Adele actually surpassed Thriller about a few years ago or something like that. I think she surpassed Thriller as the number 1 selling album of all time. But we all know that shit still ain't Thriller. But so what I'm saying is that at least reaching that plateau. You know what I'm saying? At least reaching that plateau. Like a motherfucker might win one championship, but they might not win another one. But you got that one. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown don't even have that one diamond. He has one diamond hit, which is credited to being with Drake, which is No Guidance. That's his number 1 hit of all time. His number 1 hit. That's diamond certified, No Guidance with Drake. So it's not nothing that he did by himself. So that takes away from it too. You know what I'm saying? It's with Drake, who's one of the Beatles of fucking selling and putting out music nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that go against Chris Brown. I just want to throw that out there because I was just having this discussion with somebody.
So is it fair to say, R&B, that Chris Brown is the AI of music. I mean, look, compare.
You know what?
It's a lot of
You know what?
it's a lot of comps. It's a lot of comps.
It's a lot of comps. It's a lot of comps. But I throw this one back at you, and you probably gonna. I don't know how y'all gonna receive it.
Uh-huh.
I'm biased on this one. Will gonna laugh because he know it. I'm biased on this one as fuck. I think Cisco is the Allen Iverson of the R&B
Oh,
artist.
come on. No.
Listen. Chris Brown doesn't have an Unleash the Dragon. 6-time certified platinum, sir. Point me to an album. Point me to an
Okay,
album.
hold on.
Yo,
Hold on.
Chris, Cisco's in Jeremy Lin. He's in Jeremy Lin.
Now,
hold on.
We're not gonna do that.
Hold on. We got to look at something that's a little different here. What worked for Michael, Chris Brown, and Cisco that Chris Brown don't have that would work for him to make that comparable?
For one, I think that Cisco and Usher are way more better vocalists than Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a great vocalist, is a good vocalist. They're great vocalists, and he does not have that one album that's like classic.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. That's relevant, but what I mean is the difference is, and the question's kind of broad, so let me just kind of narrow it. You back then, records were sold, physical records. That no matter how you twist or turn it, that's a huge part of this. The streams don't equivocate to the record sales. Now, I personally don't think Chris Brown can catch those numbers due to it. Now, he came at the end of the CD era, right? Like his first few albums, but this streaming era is different, which is why Chris Brown makes 30, 40, 50 song albums, because he knows he's got millions of fans and they're all going to give it at least one listen. So that way, if he puts out all that music, he'll make money from his streaming. That works against him. Now, in terms of the records, you don't have to give it to me. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just giving you factual information that records don't sell because people don't. CDs aren't made. Like
I don't disagree with that sentiment, but I can't give you that fact in the sense that it works against Chris Brown, because streaming became popular. I would probably say maybe around the streaming game really took over. Let's say maybe 13 is when it really just started to really take off with the whole thing. Chris Brown debuted in 2007, and normally with
2005 was his debut album.
Okay, so with great artists like he is, that was a nice little stretch. Even with the Rihanna debacle, that was a nice little stretch where you had a chance to give us a Confessions or a Thriller, or to a lesser level, if y'all want to say, because it wasn't a long run, Unleash the Dragon. It didn't happen. And you talking about a 8. Normally these albums come early in their career. You know, it's normally your first to second, maybe third album where it's like, dog, think about Donnell Jones. His debut album was the shit, but then when he came back with Where I Want to Be, it was like, what the? Donnell Jones just let it come. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown, I can't think of one. He has great music. He has some great albums. I can't think. He had a stretch where where CDs were still. I remember going to the album store to buy Neo albums, and Chris Brown and Neo are around the same. You know, they came out around the same era, same time. So I can't really give him that excuse because he had a chance.
the other, it, you're right. However, even though sometimes people's tastes are different and music don't carry the same weight as it used to. I'm just saying that, or to certain artists, as artists get older, they care less about the music than anything. But you know what? I think next week, if y'all both, or if everyone's available Sunday, since the sports world's a little slow, we gonna do an hour of sports and an hour of music if we can get on. If y'all are available Sunday.
I'm
Because
down with that.
I think it's long overdue. It's long overdue. So NFL, NBA, don't be fucking up our flow this week and have no blatant shit. Don't trade Giannis.
No.
Don't
Listen,
don't
the
do.
trade is coming this week. The trade is coming this week, so we might have to
Yeah,
cover a lot of that.
I think the Giannis trade probably come around the 4th of July, somewhere around that time.
Don't
That's when that.
don't cut Kevin Durant, and tell us he going back to his light skinned father. Don't do that.
Well, the draft is next week, right?
Yeah, it starts
I-
Tuesday.
Draft next weekend.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
This Tuesday, like 2 days from now.
Father.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, 2 days from
Oh
now.
yeah. So okay. So something is
and
going to
Wednesday.
happen. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Something's going to happen.
They already said they're going to trade Giannis before Tuesday, so it's probably tomorrow.
No, the
No.
GM said his wish was to trade Giannis before the draft, but
Well,
they can't guarantee that it was going
Nah,
to happen.
it's probably going to be the day of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because look, what I'm willing. A lot of times, it be discussions taking place, but it's also like, okay, but if this player fall to this pick, then maybe I don't want to make this trade. So it's probably a lot of that kind of shit up in the air that people got to wait to see exactly how the board is going to fall before
True.
things get finalized and shit. But I'll be willing to bet that something is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The night of.
True.
no doubt.
Well,
No doubt.
I know we're a little over, but does everyone have their top 10 current player list ready?
Yes, sir.
We'll
Yeah.
do that in the show with that.
I do got a trivia question for y'all this week, but that's quick.
I have one too, actually. So,
All right.
all right. We'll go from 10 to 1. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So 10 was a tough one for me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I got KD, Steph B for number 10. That was a tough one. I didn't know who I really wanted to go with.
I have Steph Curry at 10 as well.
I'm going LeBron at 10. I'm going LeBron at 10.
Ah. The current list, I gotta go with KD. I hate to put KD on this list. I hate putting KD on this list.
The hate for KD from y'all too.
Oh, man.
No, I'm saying, you know what? KD deserve all the hate, man. He's an asshole.
Roger's better than me. KD didn't even make my list.
So at number 9, I got LeBron.
Number 9. Number 9 out of respect. Really. And just that I wasn't putting Kevin Durant, I have Giannis.
That's a debate.
Oh, it is. But I don't care. I wasn't putting KD on there. Fuck him.
You put a dude who missed the playoffs and didn't play the majority of the season over a dude who played the season and made the playoffs and got hurt in the playoffs.
Yeah. Like you always say, Army, this is my list. My list. My list.
Touche. I ain't mad at you.
All right.
I can go at number 9. I got Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Who you got, Rod?
Number 9. Because of injury, it's not because of who he is as a player. I put Giannis number 9 as well, Mike.
Because of injury?
Yeah, because he didn't play this season. He didn't really play a lot, but he's still good.
That works against him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, I could have had him higher. I normally have him top 4.
How many games did Giannis play this year? 25? Are y'all serious? All right. At number 8, I got Ant-Man.
I got Jaylen Brown at number 8.
I got Giannis at 8.
Wow.
At number 8,
I mean,
I got
look. Even healthy Giannis last 3 years ain't make it out the first round. So
that's true. That's true.
And-
Good point. Number 8, I got Victor Wembanyama.
What?
I was y'all probably misreading my thought process a little bit. I'm pondering how Giannis make y'all list at all, but only playing 25 games this year. I ain't saying that that I think he should be higher. I'll be honest, he didn't make my list at all. Not missing the time that he did. I just I can't put you on there, in my opinion. But at number 7, I got Luka.
Number 7, I got Edwards.
Number 7, I got Luka.
At number 7, I got Jaylen Brown.
Number 6, I got Jaylen Brown.
Number 6, I have LeBron.
At number 6, go ahead, Will.
6, I got Anthony Edwards.
All right. At number 6, I got Steph Curry.
Number 5, I got Cade Cunningham.
I got Cade at 5 too.
Okay.
I got Cade. I got Cade at 5 as well.
At number 5, I got Ant-Man.
Number 4, I got Shea.
Number 4, I got Brunson.
Or I got. Damn, I'm still. I'm gonna go with Wemby at 4. No, I'm lying. I'm going with Joker at 4.
At number 4, I got Cade.
Number 3, I got Wemby.
Number 3, I couldn't leave one of them off, so I tied them. Joker and Luka.
Three, I got Wemby.
Since we're doubling up,
It's your list. That's R&B saying it's your list.
In fairness, my top 5 to 6 are normally one person. It's normally a struggle at the bottom.
Since we're doubling up, I'm gonna put Jalen Brunson number 3 and Luka number 3.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
Number 2, I got NBA champion Hardware Brunson.
Oh.
Number 2, I got Wembanyama.
Oh man, y'all funny.
Number 2, I got Shea.
Yeah, number 2, I got Shea.
Surprisingly, to shocking demand, number 1, I got Joker.
Ah! I'm gonna wait till my turn and give you my thoughts on that.
You know, I don't know. Has everyone on here watched Power?
Yeah.
You remember the scene where Ghost is in the office with Tate asking him for $1 million and he goes, "Nigga, what?" That's my thought right now. Hearing you say Joker. That's my thought in my mind. Nigga, what?
Well, that was my exact the scene where Ghost wake Tariq up out his sleep with the gun in his face was my sentiment to hear what y'all had to say about Giannis.
Listen, I gave you a reason. I put Giannis there because I wasn't putting Kevin Durant. Fuck him. Now, my number 1, y'all know, don't matter. Y'all know who it is. Was always this person, SGA.
My number 1, and it come with a caveat because I don't really think he's the best player in the league right now. But after what I just watched, like I had a Wemby made Shea look bad. Brunson made Wemby look bad. Like Brunson was getting to the rack at will. You know what I mean? Even with Wemby on the court. I got to give it to Brunson right now. Again, I don't think he's the best player in the league per se moving forward, but just after these playoffs that I just observed, I got to give him the credit that he do right now. He was the best player in the NBA throughout the course of these playoffs. So that's kind of where I'm going with it.
I agree. Number 1, I I'm rolling with Jokic. Now,
I never heard Rod Shea segue so fast. Now,
but I will say this: I'm shocked that R&B got Jokic number 1. What was your thought process on putting him number 1?
I knew you was going to ask me this. That's why I had to light my blunt to answer it. I ain't going to be long-winded, Mike, because I know you want to get to the trivia real quick till we end out. Hold on, Mamba. He in here whining. I don't know what he whining about. Must want piss because the food bowl is full. Or he want to get on camera.
you good,
Because
bro?
he can hear y'all, so he's really looking up like, who is talking up there?
You want to know what's going on?
The reason I got Joker number 1, though he had the playoff failure that he had, it is undeniable the numbers that Joker put up this season, the numbers that he was able to put up at a lesser rate in the playoffs, and just what he brings to the game in totality. I kind of compounded my list on what I seen recently and what they did throughout the season and how I think it's going to look possibly going forward, at least to start the season. We all know that if we revisited this list sometime and say December, it's probably going to look totally different from how it looks right now because it's going to be fluid. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have the emergence of new young players. Somebody from the draft might come in going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's all types of stuff that can, alter this. So I'm just kind of basing it off of what I seen this past season throughout going into the playoffs, leading all the way up to the championship. And that's what made it hard for me on KD and Steph. Because I'm like, well, Steph did make the play in, but they, we know what happened. And then I had to give KD the notch at 10-8 because he actually made the playoffs, even though he had got hurt and went down and they lost. He made the playoffs. So what I'm saying? I just kind of compiled it like that, and that's how it ended up, and that's how Joker ended up number one. I feel like going into next season, he's undoubtedly the best player. But like Will said, even though he had Brunson number one, he doesn't think that he's the best player. He's just he would, off of him winning and how he played throughout the playoffs, is fluid. So, I got him number two, you know what I'm saying? But I think going into the season, it's undoubtedly, if you want to look at the totality of things, Joker would be, the number one player going in the next season.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Now he got to deliver from that shit. And let's not forget that. He got to deliver.
Of course. And all these lists are are meant to be updated. Like you said, a rookie can go off. Barring injury, someone could get hurt, God forbid, but anything can change. Because there was a time when I thought Giannis was the most dominant player the season before last, but now it's like he's not even mentioned in the top 5 because he's been hurt most of the time. So it changes. It's very fluid.
And that leads me to the question that I wanted to ask all three of y'all. What went into y'all thought processes of why y'all decided to keep him on? With everything going on, hot 25 games, the injuries, the trade speculation, like not knowing how things gonna look going forward. Like what went into y'all thought process on that?
I'll go first real quick. The reason why I put him into my top 10 is because I kind of give this a throwaway year. I'm kind of like chalking up as a throwaway year because number one, we know he doesn't want to play in Milwaukee no more. He wants to play on a championship contending team. And then number two, also like when he did play, he dominated. He was averaging, I think, 25, 11, and 5 or something like some crazy numbers. But my point is, we know who Giannis can be. It's just that I feel he just gave up on the team. That's how I feel.
You don't think he was really hurt? Because
No,
Giannis,
I think he was.
Giannis submitted paperwork saying that he wanted to play, and they was trying to keep him off the court. He was healthy, and you know what I mean. He was medically cleared, and they wouldn't let him play. Like, you know what I mean. He litigated that. You know what I mean. Whatever paperwork with the players union that they submitted, I'll forget the exact terminology, but man, I don't think Giannis gave up on them.
I think. Well, let me say this. I think it was a mutual thing. I think it was. I don't want to say he gave up on the Bucks completely. What I'm saying is, I think their relationship pretty much is done. So for him to play 45, 50 games, that wasn't going to happen this season.
But at no fault of his, though, that matter. Their relationship is done because of Milwaukee. Like he wanted to play. If a player wants to play and you not allowing him to play, then you know what I'm saying, that I can't give him no fault. And why that relationship soured, that's totally on the franchise. I understand that they trying to protect a tradable asset, but you know what I'm saying, like, dude, who knows what Milwaukee could have did this year if they allowed him to play. I don't think they win in the championship or no shit like that, but maybe you get to the play-in or get to the playoffs at some point, maybe.
Yeah. That's true.
They were trying to get the best possible draft pick they can get in what's considered to be a historically great NBA draft. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'll trade a great player too to get assets to go along with that.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm gonna say. Like, again, these lists are fluid. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not necessarily about, like, if we just talk about, again, in a vacuum, if we just talk about straight like basketball ability and what you bring to the court, Giannis is top 3 to 5. Like, you know what I mean? Without question every time. But again, I feel like the championship that they won. Well, damn, that's what been like 4 or 5 years now. But even that was a coin flip. It took a lot of things to just kind of work out in their favor for that championship to happen. Outside of that 1 year, they never actually didn't like they had years where they was, first, second, third, whatever in the conference record wise, but then they end up losing in the second round to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Or was that the first round that they lost to Miami that year?
It was the first round.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's up literally other than that 1 year, they've never really been a serious contender for a title.
Giannis can be kind of Jalen Duren, and she got the type of game that don't transcend to the playoffs. So strong defending wings like a Kawhi or Jimmy Butler can shut you down in the playoffs, and now your team is non-existent.
Yeah, but it's only a couple of those though. Like it ain't a
He
whole
let it
lot of
happen.
Giannis choppers running around the league. It's
Yeah,
them.
he let it happen though. He let it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. That's again that's what so like again in a vacuum, I think Giannis is a top 3 to 5 player. I think again, based off of what I saw this year, this season. So again, that's why I think I put him 7th. You know what I'm saying? 7th or 8th. Like based off of what I saw this year, it's not that Giannis can't play no more. You know what I mean? But he barely played this year. So it's more like, I expect him to bounce back and be in that, depending on what situation he finds himself in. And it's not a whole lot of just smooth transition situations for him to go to and just automatically be a contender. But depending on what situation he finds himself in next year, he could be right back to being an MVP candidate. You know what I mean? But that's, I'll say this. It's more, for me, it's more about the nature of the NBA right now than it is about any one of these players. With the way that the CBA is right now, when teams not wanting to, go, teams really don't want to go past the first apron, much less go past the second apron. Talent is kind of getting dispersed throughout the league in a different way right now because teams don't want to be penalized with not being able to have draft picks and trade picks and all that kind of shit. So the talent seems like it's spreading throughout the league more, and it's harder for a player to just kind of be in a situation where year in, year out, they competitive. OKC and San Antonio done a good job of hitting on young draft picks back to back to back years. That's basically what you got to do. You know what I mean? To be competitive. And then even if you do get competitive, which we saw with Denver, they won a championship, but they had to let certain players go, KCP and Bruce Brown and all of them, because they didn't want to end up over the second apron and not being able to be competitive and make these trades and what like it's this new CBA is so restrictive. You know what I mean? You can't just pay the extra luxury tax. You can't just pay the money no more. You know what I mean? To be a good team, it's almost like good teams that do a good job drafting and do a good job signing free agents, they get penalized because it's so restrictive for you to keep these teams together. So it's like all of this is the league is much more fluid now than at any point that I can imagine. You know what I mean? That I can remember in my time of watching basketball. You know what I mean? Shorter term contracts and all of that stuff. People move around so much more now.
I think this is the NBA's best attempt at trying their best to create parity, or at least create the visual that is parity in the league. It's like 8 different champions the past 8 years. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen nothing like that.
Yeah, the dynasty years are over. They're trying to create allowing everybody opportunity to go out here and win a championship. The fact that OKC got a championship is
look
crazy.
like the NCAA championship, the playoffs.
Man, my thing is it just frustrates me that it feels like teams that are poorly run are getting the rules slanted for them. Like that's what frustrates me. Like, no, man, do your fucking job right. You know what I'm saying? Run this business like you run all these other businesses that you own. You know what I'm saying? Be a good, solid, functional owner. You know, but they keep making it, which that's with the rules that they just made for the draft now. I like how they flatten the odds. What'd you say?
they trying to bend the rules damn near for the ones who don't want to spend the money to be competitive to be competitive.
But with all of the tanking and the rules that they just made moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Even the shitty owners that really ain't trying, they gonna get penalized because if you can't be in the top three, back to back years or something like that,
Right.
or whatever the case may be. So like it's with all the tanking, I think it's gonna end up affecting the bad owners in a way that they got to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I already know my sentiment on it. Fuck KD. Giannis made the
That was it. That was it. There was no basketball thought into it. There was no world where KD makes this list. I don't care. Fuck him. He's a bitch ass nigga. Needs to go back to light skinned daddy.
Can I request a special segment for next week?
Sure.
I
What you want?
I want if everybody agrees on this, Raj gonna laugh. I want Mike to have a 2-minute soliloquy rundown of why he hates Kevin Durant so much. I would really like to hear it. I would really like to hear it.
All right, so you really want to hear why I hate Kevin Durant? Listen,
Yeah.
I'll give you this. I like him more than I like Draymond, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the case. Yeah. I don't think. I mean, I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. I don't think you hate anybody more than you hate Draymond, and I think I'm up there with you with that.
Any one player? No. There's franchises I hate more than Draymond.
Individual players.
But individual players, there's not one that I hate more than crispity, crunchity Draymond Green. Like I said, I did not watch the roast of Kevin Hart because he was there, and I wanted to watch it. But his crispy, burnt ass was there. He was on the NBA during the finals. What the fuck you there for, bro? We don't want to see you. Turn the lights off so I ain't got to look at him. Like,
contrary to men, they do want to see Draymond because if they didn't, they wouldn't be paying him to show up. Remember, they not with TNT no more. That was a TNT thing. Now it's switched over to ESPN and NBC now, and they're still paying Draymond to show up in his spare time and do that show with them because I think they looked at as one of the guys that when one of them decides to trickle out, whether it be Charles, Kenny, or whatever, I think you're going to see Draymond when he goes into retirement. He's going to be one of the ones that they end up, rolling over into one of those seats.
I agree.
Either on a permanent basis or here and there. I think that's why you see.
Listen.
I think, brother. I think that people want to see him. I like Draymond though. I like
all
that
we
style of
need.
player. I want a rough rider.
All we need is Draymond to get a white woman, and ESPN will fire him like they did Shannon. Just gotta get him a white woman. Let's go.
You gotta pull a Shannon Sharp. You gotta pull a Shannon.
Listen, he can still have his podcast. He can still do that. Listen, with the podcast, I don't have to watch it. It's like SmackDown. I don't like Cody Rhodes, so I don't watch SmackDown. People be like, you watch SmackDown? No. So if I don't like something, I don't watch it. That's all. So if I don't like a podcast, I don't watch it. That's all. One simple thing. I'm not praying for his downfall. I'm just praying for a part where I don't have to see him. That's all.
Honestly, I think Adam Silver really likes Draymond. All jokes aside, I think Adam Silver is like, he looks at Draymond as almost like a son. Because remember, Draymond was going to retire.
Well, then Adam Silver,
you're not. He said no.
Adam Silver needs to take those fucking satellite dishes on the side of his head that he calls ears and fly away. Fly to heaven and swap with David Stern.
Oh man! Shout out to David Stern. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, David Stern.
But
y'all want to get this trivia popping real quick? Mike about to get her pants.
I know, right? I'm like, damn.
Now I'm gonna need that to be a 2.5-minute soliloquy on Kevin Durant and Draymond. They play together.
Facts.
But hey, you never know. One day he may see this. He may see this and be like, "Why you hate me?" And then we're viral, babe. Then I might like you a little bit.
There you go. You might be able to throw your way to the top.
Why you think I talk about Kendrick Lamar? Maybe one day he'll see me and make a diss track about me. I'll take it because then you get me attention.
Say all controversy is good controversy.
Listen, if it includes loading my pocket, it's great controversy. But let's go. What's your trivia question, bro?
All right, 8 seconds is on the clock, fellas. 8 seconds, which means as soon as I ask the question, I begin counting down in my head, and you have 8 seconds to answer this question.
Okay.
What player in NFL history caught a touchdown, threw a touchdown, and got an interception in the same game?
What?
Was it Marcus Mariota? Wait, hold on. You said they threw a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and threw an interception?
Time's up. I gave y'all an extra 2 seconds too, though.
I'm going to say Antonio Brown.
Any final guesses?
I'm going to just stick with Marcus Mariota. That's what came to mind.
Moss?
Nah. So it was David Patton, New England Patriots in 2001 versus the Colts. He threw a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and had an interception in the same game.
Wow.
My mind immediately went to the Patriots because Bill Belichick like be doing Bill Belichick shit. But the first person that crossed my mind was Edelman. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if he got the interception though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
All right, I got one too.
But
what 4 players in NBA history have 100 or more players with 100 or more 40 games where they scored 40 plus points?
Will
Michael, LeBron,
Kevin Durant.
Kobe.
No, Will, Kobe.
Yeah, you gotta put Will up there.
Jordan.
Durant, I'm putting up there. Jordan, I'm putting up there.
Will
and
1,
Larry
Jordan's 2, Kobe's 3,
and Harden.
Steph Curry.
LeBron.
James Harden's number 4.
What?
I'd have had a clean sweep.
Got all 4 of them niggas. Bow, 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 bow.
Are you serious?
I
140
know it wasn't LeBron don't go out and get buckets like that, man. I knew it wasn't
but LeBron do got some high scoring, record games and shit. Yeah. But I forgot about that. It's so easy to forget about James Harden run, man, because he James Harden.
That nigga averaged 37, 38 a game one season. Like, it was a lot of 40 and 50 point games that year.
But how much do you really hear people talk about it? We talk more about his playoff failures and his recent shit than we were, mentioned the whole shit with Houston and shit. That's sad. Damn, I wish he would come through.
Told you, nigga got 2 whole different careers, bro.
Yeah, that's right about that.
Hell yeah. Well, my brothers, I know we went a little over today, but it was a good show as always. And we'll be back. You guys, let me know if you're available next Sunday. We'll do try and ride the Sunday kick when we can, so Will can join us. We'll try and do it. Some music in there as well. But if it's the NBA draft, probably not gonna happen. But we're gonna try. So I hope you all enjoy your Father's Day. You have a great day, and we'll see everyone next week on the flip side.
Peace.
All right, fellas.
Hey.